coming right at you on the back chute of lap number 1. The Circus trying to catch up after a late start. He starts to fly. He's up in the air. Oh no! It's the whole set. Miss Madison. They both went over, Dick.
Unbelievable. It looked like a choreographed ballet as both boats going over. Let's check the drivers out right now. Johnny Primo's right side up in the water. Ron Snyder is upside down in the water. We remind you that they are on their own breathing mechanisms in these capsules, but you can see right there, Snyder is not.
I've got to say grateful thanks for Paul for getting me involved as Mark Beattie goes across the track. Very near, collects Luke Simmons, he's out of the lead, he's on the grass. And like Nick Bridgman, will have to recover. He looks across, I think, and comes back on track. It's all clear at the moment. 3-car game. We're coming out, there's contact there. Two mates, that's John Mickle. Very nasty consequences.
We barrel rolled about 12, 13 times, but at least we're one piece, so we're here to fight another day.
I'm glad you're back. You're here in the paddock.
Campeonato anterior carrera, tuvo un inconveniente de transmisión en la serie y esto hizo que largara desde el fondo en la final. Pero miren qué palo, qué golpe, qué accidente tremendo, terrible de Juan Pablo Luz, el piloto de Roush que recibe en Tanville.
It's about to get ugly. Free absolutely violently flips wildly into the air. Clearahan pulls the car up very quickly in the foreground, desperate to try and get out and help Free. He realized the seriousness of the incident. Have a look how many times this car flips, rolls, gyrates and tumbles into the air. A frightening wreck, one of the most spectacular crashes in the history of Australian motor racing.
Este es Boero con la cámara a bordo. Va a venir la situación del vuelco de Rossotti después del toque entre Bucci y Saturni. Levantan algunos autos y ya de techo el auto de Rossotti va a encarar la parte de afuera. Allí lo vemos. Se monta con otro, por supuesto, y bueno, son creo que 9 vueltas, ¿verdad? Impresionante. En un sector muy veloz de Salta, ¿no? Cuando vienen ya para la última curva.
Y vieron gente delante y no levantan.
Sí. Pero bueno, el tema es que se bajó por sus propios medios Juan Pablo, algo mareado.
Vamos ver? Olha só o que aconteceu, gente. Olha só o que aconteceu. Uma imagem fortíssima, hein? Uma imagem fortíssima. O Luciano tá tudo ok, ó, ficou a cabine dele ali, o chassi do lado de cá e tem ali um caminhão Ford ainda de cabeça para baixo. Olha aí, ó. Olha por outro ângulo, ó. Olha que imagem forte. A prova vai...
Luciano Burti, que é terceiro, aí o líder, que é o Ingo Hoffmann. Nós temos agora um acidente que provoca a bandeira vermelha. Bandeira vermelha, agora a gente pode ter então o encerramento da prova com o Ingo Hoffmann na frente. Walter Salles, veja o que acontece com o Walter. Onde vai o Walter? Impressionante a imagem, um acidente fortíssimo do Walter. Um acidente que nos preocupa, que nos impressiona.
In tow into turn one, and look at this mixed class action fan out behind him. This is big roll. That is a wild ride. Is that the Mini?
Could be Palmer.
And we go full course yellow once again. Well, that's what happened.
Is Uckerman, who has driven like a star. Servers then will take P3. Then it should be... Oh, they are side by side. It's going to end in absolute disaster. That is a horrible crash. They have been battling and battling.
He doesn't really use the safety fencing. He lands on top of it. Obviously, part of the car got into it to rip it open, right? Yes. He landed. Yeah. I have never witnessed an accident like that.
You know, we talked about the number 3 of Elio Castroneves going underneath Scott Dixon's car. Remember, it was Elio a few years ago that ended up going airborne between turns 1 and 2 and walked away from that incident as well. You see how Scott...
Leslie capped a great rookie year on the ARCA Stock Car Tour, clinching the series championship in a race marred by this frightening crash. Don Marmor slammed head-on into the pit wall after a collision with Lee Raymond, launching his car along with those 2 giant sand-filled tires that guard the end of that wall. In slow motion, the flight of those tires testifies to the force of the crash. The car rolled twice and landed on its wheels. It took rescuers some 20 minutes to cut the 36-year-old second-generation driver from the wreck. He was taken to an Atlanta hospital with fractures of both legs, one arm, plus back and head injuries. Latest reports list Marmor.
Lap. The race changed in an instant. Miraculously, after the incident, 2 spectators and driver Kane Magro were all cleared of serious injuries.
I actually got up on 2 wheels and I tried to correct it, put it back on down 2 wheels, but that didn't work, and I ended up on the lid. And I remember seeing the gravel trap coming up, and after that everything just went black. But I was aware of the situation, what was happening. When I did land, someone opened the door for me, and I didn't realise where I was until I turned around and looked back, and then I realised I was in the crowd. And yeah, I'm just glad to know that everyone is okay.
termination of the race because it's probably going to end under caution.
It's a wild event. Lap 36. Michael Dockett in the yellow. He hits the wall, then clips the rear, number 66, Mark Thompson. Thompson goes airborne, first on his top, then rolls over and over and over. Thompson tonight is in stable condition, broken ribs, and a concussion in a hospital there. Instant destruction. Mark Thompson in the ARCA 200. If he'd have stayed on his top, it would have been all right. But once he got airborne, there was nothing going to stop that car of his from coming apart.
Het is tijd voor een crash uit de oude doos. En wat voor een. Alle Nederlandse autosportliefhebbers kennen de naam Phil Bastiaans. Mede dankzij deze enorme crash uit 1995. Het is de eerste keer dat er met auto's geraced wordt op het TT-circuit van Assen. De Limburger is bezig aan een inhoudrace, maar verliest in de ramzoek de controle over zijn Renault Clio en gaat er keihard vanaf. Door een fout in de grimbak wordt de auto van Bastiaans meters hoog de lucht ingeschoten. En let daarbij vooral op de arm van de Limburger die buiten de auto zwaait. Bastiaans is zwaar gewond en heeft een lange revalidatieperiode voor de boeg. Aan het einde van de jaren 90 rijgt hij de overwinningen weer aan elkaar en lijkt deze crash verleden.
Based on where David Rudiman brought it in the point standings prior to Rudiman getting out of this car, moving into the 44 to replace the now retired Dale Jarrett in the UPS car. There was some talk of whether the team could switch points.
Whoa, whoa, guys, whoa, whoa, oh no, oh my gosh. I have never seen anything like that in my life.
He hit that wall a ton.
Oh my gosh.
Michael's moving.
Jerry Canada in the Blue Thunder Funny Car is making a single qualifying pass. His machine makes a hard left at close to 280 miles per hour.
Down, rolling here in the triangle, and another car spinning. That's Edward Howell in a 07. Yes, it is. Or, well, we'll stand by.
Oh my God, that is a car, the tub landed upside down.
That is the king.
I don't know who that is. This is the king. Now she's back, she's already around, and she hits the wall with phenomenal force. The car flies up in the air, catches the fence a bit. The motor breaks off as she comes back down, and the tub continues to go. As the gearbox and the rear tires up in the air there, as the tub barrel rolls down the outside of the track there.
Back on the hands. Yeah, you can move once, but you can't just keep weaving across the race.
Oh no! Big crash!
It's a massive accident.
Goodness me! Oh, it's gone over the fence.
And it's on fire as well. So obviously a bit of contact there in terms of the situation where we've had a bit of, that drafting, the car's going quick down the...
Only 7.5 minutes plus 1 lap left. Oh my!
Huge accident, a huge off. Ryan's feature had spun, PK is involved, there was another car that's airborne as well, and the race is being stopped straight away. Red flag shown, and Ryan's feature was the catalyst for all. Andretti, this is where the race was decided last year. What will happen here in 84? Andretti down through turn 3, through turn 3, through turn 4. Sneva's trying him on the inside.
it. Now it's turned
all the way over. Whoa! Johncock comes by. Frightening accident for Pancho Carter. He was in a terrible accident in a private practice section at Phoenix in 1970.
Now introducing John Humble and Nick Starkey. Just watch this. Amazingly, neither driver Humble nor co-pilot Starkey was hurt in what must rate as one of the most spectacular rally crashes ever during the National Welsh Rally. It's a long climb out for Sherpa Humble. If you go down to the woods today, you're sure of a big surprise.
Lots of rain, hopefully gone away for a bit.
But when the sun comes out, you got to worry about the tires.
Whoa! Whoa! That's the Ferrari, I believe.
It is.
And that's Dale. Jeremy Dale, isn't it? The number 2 car.
Literally cut it in half. Serious accident here. Main pit straight blocked. Yellow flags out all on the course. Everybody onto the grass. Primary car wrecked. Now here is the car that they rebuilt, did a lot of rebuilding.
Oh, we've got 2
Somebody
cars.
got into it over on the left edge there.
There's 2 cars crashed on the left, which made Barbaza spin, and Jeremy Dale was moving away from the 2 cars that he could see on his left, and just nailed it. The finish was good. Great. I don't think I've ever seen a crash as fast as that.
Frightening crash. Of course,
Turn number 4, Richard Petty's car goes airborne, Andover, after 2 or 3 other cars into it.
Petty has hit the wall very hard. He gets hit again as the car came to rest at the entrance to pit road. Petty's car is really smashed front and rear.
once again at what happened in real time. Well, it looks like Doc here is trying to make a pass up the inside where there just simply is no room, and the resulting collision really hits the back end of Chip Robinson's Jaguar. He is completely innocent at this point. But Doc shouldn't have tried to pass there. He got a real run of speed and thought he could make it, but there just wasn't the room for it.
And from another angle.
Horrifying. Just terrible. Look at the violence of that crash.
You know, Chip's car, the one here on the left, almost goes into the crowd, and then the tremendous fire breaking out. Well, Ron Kendrick has been doing a lot of work in the pit area. Let's go to Ron.
Toyota he connected with. He took off. Oh yes, and head
person that so nearly collected the Toro Rosso of Scott Speed that you would have thought that any normal circumstances would have been well out of the action, and that was a huge impact. And both Alonso and Rosberg have been given a 10-second stop-and-go penalty, and the energy that went on there for Kubica was absolutely horrible.
Going to crash on the home stretch, a car upside down.
And that's
a blue car, it is Richard Petty.
I jumped off the score stand and started running as fast as I could.
I was working in the booth with Jim McKay for ABC. The position that he was in, it looked like blood coming out. It was a scary scene.
At that time I used to run with a rag in my mouth. Well, the rags got to coming out the windows and stuff and it looked terrible. I think the TV camera said, you know, get away from that. He's coming apart inside that car.
And he certainly appears to be unconscious. The pit crew running out. This could be a very bad accident to one of the best-known race drivers in the world.
Bergmeister has actually closed that gap a lot. In fact, he's not under attack any longer from Alex Gurney. Now that was a two-car battle for the lead. Look at this. Both sides. Oh, they hit him. Oh, no! Very big accident. Very, very big accident. Got to hope for good end. He's on multiple flips, gone over 6-7 easily times.
立ち上がりは普通に立ち上がってますよね、これ。で、この先でカメラが切り替わった時にすでにインガーで激しいクラッシュが起きています。確かはもうアウトに避けています。その後ろデュバルもアウトに大きく避けていますから、やはり自分で巻き込んでいったように思えるんですがね。そうですね。
Good evening, Onlookers watched in horror as driver Glenn Mason and his Suzuki came to grief on a bend. Most could hardly believe he survived.
Horrified witnesses were certain it was a death roll. At 200 kilometres an hour, the Suzuki GTI clips an inside curb and bounces over a concrete fence on the Caltex straight section. The driver, Glenn Mason, is helpless as the car continues to roll down an embankment and into a paddock. Emergency teams got to the scene. They found Mason still alive and actually conscious.
I saw one of the most spectacular accidents that I've ever seen in motor racing occur at this track last year in the Permitex 300. Red Farmer barrel rolled his car, how many times I don't know, down the front straightaway. The man escaped almost uninjured. He was at the racetrack the next day. How did that occur? Because first of all the car is properly built, and when an accident occurs, NASCAR have now built in so many backup safety facilities that a driver really has a very strong possibility not only to live through an accident but not be seriously injured. From my point of view, in all of my racing, I've never seen a safer form of motor racing than NASCAR.
Improve in his ride is Buddy Lazier. We've got a crash. Let's go upstairs.
A big crash. Terrible crash.
Out of turn number 4, and here on the main straightaway it involves many, many cars. I can see as many as 7 or 8 cars involved.
On lap number 53, up here in turn number 4, a huge accident involving many, many cars, some overturning, many becoming involved in a ball of flame. And the miraculous thing is that there are apparently no serious injuries. Here it is from another angle.
Yes, and you can see cars up here as well. That is Casey Mears that got up in the air, not Little Al. Little Al's back a little farther on the racetrack.
Here on Saturday when the series traveled to Sacramento, Corey Krugman took a wild tumble in the last chance race, going over 14 times. Krugman suffered a fractured skull, fractured arm, numerous bumps and bruises. The good news, he should be out of the hospital in 3 or 4 days.
Le contact à droite. Alors c'est
la voiture a décollé.
Schumacher. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. The wing came off Tony's car. And a major, major problem here at Memphis Motorsports Park. The number 1 qualifier, Tony Schumacher.
Oh, double and in trouble is 07 LaJoy. Randy LaJoy slamming into the wall. Randy LaJoy out of Norwalk, Connecticut, destroying his automobile. Randy LaJoy, second generation driver, absolutely destroying the Bob Johnson car number 07.
Number 24 and Cale Yarborough, Ford number 27 that grabbed first and second spot. The Darrens are breathing hard on their necks. Lorenz is 10 seconds back. Wait. These Chargers have everything going for them. Nerve, enthusiasm, and first-rate equipment. Quade's doing what we all dream about, leading the pack in the second Darlington race. Yarborough's trying to pass. They're in deep trouble. Cale Yarborough's over the wall. He never even touched the guardrail. He sailed down that 40-foot slope. The plate slides through the infield. Leroy Yarborough was clipped as he tried to avoid the collision.
For the Alpha Tauri at the bottom of your screen of Daniel Fiat on the right-hand side now, Grosjean just goes across. And it's like the car was just pulling all the way to the right-hand side. The fact that Romain Grosjean has survived that crash is not only miraculous, but quite frankly, marvellous as well. That is just horrendous.
He's still trapped at that point in the flaming chassis. But Romain decided to come across the pack, look, and Danny Kvyat couldn't do anything about that. And he met a barrier that was coming towards the track at about 30 degrees. Just a misunderstanding in the pack there, because they were basically ahead of Romain Grosjean there. They were tripping over each other a little bit, so he steered right to go around them, but he wasn't clear.
Four have pulled away because the cars back behind him are running side by side.
Look at this, Randall.
Man, oh man. Kowicki just a moment ago up in second spot. Got hustled to the back. We have got a miss.
2 by 2 out of the second turn and down the backstretch. That's Waltrip and Alan Kowicki leading this.
Oh, look at Earnhardt got sideways. Somebody looked like made some contact.
We've got a problem.
Here. Sure, Darrell Waltrip still running. Waltrip car gets on the front and over.
Darrell Waltrip tumbling down the backstretch. What appears to be a very, very serious crash. Joe Ruttman, the other car involved in that incident. Darrell Waltrip.
Come on, CW.
600 from Charlotte, North Carolina. Yesterday, turn 4 proved, there it is, there is turn 4, proved to be just a tragic place for one of the top sportsman drivers in the country. Coming out of this turn, watch what happened to Junior Crouch, car number 1. See the car up against the wall. Forget about the car spinning the inside. Watch the car number 1 on the outside of the track. Here is John Pryor, number 85, moving along, and then number 91, Court, slams into number 1, Junior Crouch. It spins him 3 times. Then Mike Opperman tags him again with such violence that the engine is completely torn out of Junior Crouch's automobile. The car spinning to a halt. 4 cars demolished. Junior Crouch is in critical but stable condition. He lost his left arm in this crash. There was the engine, entirely disassembled from what had been a top racing car just moments before him.
When you think how strongly these cars are built, to knock the car about like that, it just shows a tremendous force and energy in those crashes.
All right, it is a magnificent chess game that is being played here. Oh, trouble! Ricky Rudd slamming toward the wall, crashing, rolling over, side over side. Ricky Rudd.
Coming off the second turn, Tom Sneva got into the outside wall. The car has come to stop just in front of us. There was some flame. The engine's torn completely off of the car. He was stunned, flipping around in the car. It got airborne, hit the wall, came to light right side up, right here in front of us.
wins and Rusty Smith and gets airborne and flips wildly right at the start-finish line, very reminiscent of his accident at Daytona. Oh, man.
Another small car coming on. 30 years later, at the same spot, driver Rick Marsh tries to put his name in the record books. But at 120 miles an hour, he too fails. The technology that built this racing streamliner also saves Rick's life. The sophisticated metal cage helps him survive this wicked crash.
Para que la monomarca Fiat Uno acelere a fondo en la recta principal de los Cargalves. Allí está Antonio Barrazo, el de La Plata, manteniendo la primera colocación. Y los vamos a intentar clasificar cuando van cerrando ya la quinta vuelta.
Segundo Cerpero, tercero Codas, cuarto Moncha, quinto García, sexto Berra, séptimo Losigio, octavo Tarlón, noveno
¡Uy, perdóname, Diego! ¡Ay, qué piñón! Diego Codas. Vuelo infernal, impresionante. La piña que se ha dado Diego Codas, mira, ahí se alcanza a ver.
No, terrible. Da la sensación que se traba el auto, Pablo, y de ahí en más comienza a dar vueltas.
Mirá, lo vemos también desde la cámara a bordo del auto de Losigio, que ahí como podía también era uno de los que iba esquivando, ¿no? El bulto.
Horrifying crash.
50 miles an hour, anything can happen. Almost invisible ripples in the sand set up shock waves that torture suspension and steering. Look out! Bill Norcott is trapped in the wreck. His seatbelt held, and rescue workers must cut him loose.
There's a slip and slide on the outside and contacts the concrete wall nearly head on. The car is sawed in half by that concrete barrier there. One of the most spectacular and violent crashes I have ever seen.
In June of 1996, race car driver Owen Evans sets out to break the New Zealand land speed record. Driving a specially modified Porsche Turbo, Evans does just that, setting a record of 216 miles an hour. He then tries another run on this straight and narrow road to break his own record. That's when his rear tire blows. At this speed, the temporary loss of control sends Evans off course, and his Porsche 911 goes tumbling quietly into the countryside.
Car number 19, Gary Stewart, moving to the outside into second place.
The 41 car is desperately defending his third place position against the 81 car, but he is closing in fast.
Back straightaway! A terrible crash on the back straightaway! Everybody stand back and let the qualified personnel get in there!
Yeah, he sure does, and he's doing so well at the stock cars. He's taking a lot of our Saturday Night Thunderheads down there with him, but I'm sure they're back here with us tonight. So.
Once again, only 6 will transfer. As we've said before, it's the inverted start, the faster qualifiers on the rear. This should be very interesting. DeWardo and Burdine bring them down. Oh. That's not going to happen. My goodness. A double flip, a car upside down, barrel rolling.
That's Kenyon.
No, that's Mac McClellan. Mac McClellan in the other 25 car. Mac McClellan in the other 25 car. Kenyon, they had identical cars. Cliff Jacobs built both cars.
Now, his pals keep their eyes on Mauricio, who's second to last on the inside.
All the crews getting out to that car to assist these drivers. Thumbs going up from all the crew members, and the crowd roars.
Three drivers in this field tonight, but no one has a more fascinating story to tell than Mike Harmon. Now, before you see this video, there are two things you should know. One, no one was seriously injured. And two, that's because of the safety measures legislated into these cars and the guys back at the shop that built them. Take a look at what happened here in Busch Series practice on Thursday. Mike Harmon comes off of turn 2, hits the crossover gate, and then slams into the wall. His car is hit by Johnny Sauter. Here it is again. The car virtually disintegrates, and then Sauter hits what's left. One more time, you can see the driver's compartment inside the roll cage. That's what protected Harmon. Then Sauter comes by and hits what's left of the car. Moments later, the miracle. Mike Harmon climbed out of that car uninjured. Track officials said the crossover gate was not properly secured at the time.
Here is Dick Trickle. He is in and all sorts of problems there in the middle of the pile of caution. No caution. No caution yet. No caution yet.
If he sits there, they'll throw the caution because he's in a bad place.
Still green. No caution. Green. Come on, boys.
Watching the flag stand, still under green.
No harm, no foul.
If he gets moving, then we'll not throw the caution flag. Oh, I bet it comes out. Get it going. No caution. No caution.
Cars all over the place down here in turns 1 and 2. Not real sure how this is going to work out. Still no caution, though.
No caution? We stay green.
The yellow has not yet flown. No caution.
What? So now the caution is out. We'll see what this does to all the strap.
Oh, there's no caution,
yet. No, it's not out yet. No caution. It will be out.
I agree with you.
And is there going to be a caution? There has to be debris on the racetrack.
No caution. Is it?
This is all behind the pack. Maybe the caution hasn't flown. No caution.
They still haven't thrown the caution.
No, still on the green.
And we will have no yellow as the field comes down and completes another lap.
No yellow yet, no yellow.
Stay green.
Keep her coming. Keep her coming.
That surprised a few folks.
Am Nürburgring bei seinem schwersten Unfall hatte. Hier die Bilder am Ende der Zielgeraden und der Startgeraden. Damals stand sein Ferrari an Start und Ziel in Flammen, doch Herbert Müller konnte sich aus diesem Inferno nach 23 Sekunden befreien. Die Bilder noch einmal aus einer anderen Perspektive. Hier der Unfall und der Ferrari steht in vollen Flammen. Damals lief Herbert Müller als lebende Fackel auf die Streckenposten zu und das Feuer konnte gelöscht werden. Nachdem die Flammen gelöscht waren, konnte
The end result can be injury or even death.
No! Don't shut down! Get out there!
God, he jumped out. I hope those pipes.
Roccavanla there has his problems trying to sort out David Hunt along the straight. Close together, and there's a tremendous accident. Herbert, Wojciech, Triad, and so many cars. I cannot see just how many people are involved in that. But it is virtually the whole of the field behind the first three. A huge impact there with Wojciech touching Johnny Herbert, and already the red flags are out of money.
They said we could just run over turn 3 and 4 wide.
To Leanne Ross, but she leads the
He's got to be thinking inside his cockpit right now. But big crash!
Major incident. Penny Brett getting way high, up into the fence.
Der schwärzeste Tag für Peter Sauber in der Formel 1 war sicherlich der 12. Mai 1994, der Tag, als Karl Wendlinger in Monte Carlo nach der Ausfahrt aus dem Tunnel so schwer verunglückte, dass er lange Zeit im Koma lag.
25-year-old Bruce Allen in the right lane. Kenny Koretsky in the left lane in one of the most horrific crashes we have ever seen. What happened here, Mike?
Well, what happened was Bruce Allen in the right-hand lane got the car a little bit loose and it moved over towards wall out of the groove. When he went to correct, it was basically with no downforce. It rotated the rear end of that race car around, trying to spin it out. And then when he hits the rubber in the middle of the racetrack, he tips it up on his side. Kenny Koretsky just basically T-bones him in just a horrific accident right there.
You can see it. You can hear how violent this crash really was. That's wife Debbie, Bruce's wife, as they headed for the far end of the racetrack. One of the best signs we had was immediately, there's Kenny Koretsky climbing out. Now, they did transport Kenny for observation. He has bumps and bruises. There's Bruce Allen in the light flight helicopter.
Racetrack. And you know, every time we begin a show at the racetrack, what happens next? Crash.
Tarragona, Spain. Home video camera watches as cars take warm-up laps before a race, and suddenly the car loses control at close to 100 miles an hour. The driver hangs helplessly out the window as he rolls. At one point, he seems nearly crushed by the impact. Until finally, he's dumped motionless on the ground. Cameraman Raul Prado keeps rolling on the scene.
I saw that the car was completely destroyed. There were bits all over the place. Then people started to shout that the race should stop.
The driver is in a coma for 3 days. He has head injuries and serious bruising. But in spite of his terrifying crash, he survives to race again another day.
I've been looking at these numbers as Zanardi comes in.
Zanardi's in, you're looking at the numbers. He jumps on the brakes.
Serbia can make it to the end. He's got the 40 laps, but he's been the fuel mileage king today. I'm not so sure about Andretti and the rest. We know Serbia can, so they're looking for Andretti and Serbia on their way out. See how this blends in.
Gary, nice stop.
It was 5.3 seconds on my clock. Canons was 6.4. Now they've got to go to work. We're going to head for the Rahal land and see what the story is for Kenny Brick.
Now, I would suspect you're going to have to run, Gary, because you're going to be in there fairly quickly. Breck picks up the lead. Oh, and Zanardi, with a terrible crash. Yellow is out. Zanardi coming out in turn 1. Loses control of the car. Rest of the field, look at him slow down. There's debris all over that racetrack.
They'll go down over the curbs if necessary. There's so much carbon fiber on that track.
And to both drivers?
Yeah, Gary, Alex Zanardi is extremely critical. He's had severe injuries to both of his lower extremities, has had significant blood loss, but he is responding. He is breathing on his own. So we're sending him to the Berlin Major Trauma Center. Alex Tagliani is awake and alert. He's moving everything. He has only back pain. We think he may have a minor injury to the small of his back. Otherwise, he's okay.
Sacramento Raceway Park, California. These two dragsters, powered by Learjet airplane engines, are about to compete in an incredible quarter-mile speed race. The jet-fueled turbos kick in with 6,000 pounds of thrust raring to go. They get the green light, and they're off. Dennis Geisler in the far lane pushes his four-wheeled rocket to an amazing 278 miles per hour, covering a football field per second. Then, as Geisler's parachute opens, the car swerves across the track. Then the car punches through the guard fence. Finally, the turbine explodes, forcing the yellow safety truck into a hasty retreat as its grille is scorched by the flames. Emergency crews rush to the wreck. The twist twisted metal fence, dislocated front wheels, and shattered motor are a testament to the sheer power and speed of the crash. A fellow driver is visibly shaken by the scattered wreckage.
This could have been me. It scares the living bejeebies right out of you.
The injured driver is rushed away to a local hospital.
Is he okay?
He broke both legs and an arm, but he's lucky to be alive, thanks to the strict safety standards imposed on the car's design.
The car is extremely well built. It went over 275 miles an hour, and the guy's walking away with a broken right arm and a few bumps and bruises.
68 cars play follow the leader at 150 miles an hour. Out of the fourth turn, end of lap 1. The leader's at record speed, but the rest of the field is in trouble back in the fourth turn. The most fantastic pileup in auto racing history takes 37 cars out of the race. Some drivers free themselves from the wrecked cars to find out, is anyone hurt?
全日本 GT 選手権第2戦富士スピードウェイフォーメーションラップがいよいよ終了。最終コーナーからストレートに入ってきています。ペースカーが下がってシグナルがブルーに変われば第2戦のスタートを切ります。
もう一周ですね。
もう一周ですか。はい。ペースカーは下がりません。
もう一周するんですか。そうですね、やはり視界が非常に悪いんで、こういう視界の状況の中で、もうこのコースアウトしてますね。どうしたんでしょうね。戻れるか。
かなり左の方にもう車が流されてるような感じですかね。
これどうしたんですか。
炎上だ炎上だ。
なんだこれは。
どうした
どうしたどこだ。
メインストレート炎が上がっている。
あらまだ走ってる。あれ何ですか車は。
フェラーリです。2台のフェラーリのうちのどちらかは分かりません。なんとかドライバーは出てきてますが、スナコフェラーリの方はどうだ。大変なことになりました。2周目のフォーメーションラップに入ろうとしたそのストレートエンド、ストレートの途中で炎が上がっています。この炎は、
それとドライバーがですね、これスナゴ君ですか、やはり怪我をしているようですし、他にも全員ちゃんと脱出。
Did you notice just momentarily he hit that brake pedal? It's a lot easier to just touch that brake than let off the gas to slow that truck down. Just staying up high going in the corner. He's not following the truck in front of him. Don't know what's going on there. Whoa! Oh, look out! We got trouble. This is going to hurt. Uh-oh. Oh, my. Oh, my. Yep. Keep your fingers crossed.
And it was so good for so long, it turned into so bad so quickly.
We'll be back to see what happened, and as I said, keep your fingers crossed, folks. We're at Daytona. From Jeffrey Bodine on board. Listen.
goes down. He and Kurt Busch go up and they touch the 46 of Rob Morgan and outside retaining wall. Goes just below down.
The truck comes totally apart. You'll see the motor flying off there on the left upper portion of your screen. It ended up about 300 feet further down the track. One more view. Look how high he got.
I've been around this sport since 1960 and I've never seen a